May 25th was supposed to be a coronation at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Taylor Swift walked onto the red carpet expecting to claim her 41st American Music Award. What she encountered instead was a calculated corporate sabotage operation designed to permanently destroy her momentum. Network executives finalized a plot to humiliate her on live television because they believe manufacturing a shocking upset would artificially boost their faltering broadcast ratings. The receipts prove everything. Raw server logs show exactly how the producers pulled the strings to rig the entire event. They orchestrated a complete 0-for-8 shutout, and the truth about this massive fraud is finally out. Going into the 52nd annual broadcast, the mathematics surrounding the 8 nominations were absolute and completely undeniable. Independent data analytics firms tracking social media engagement confirmed the numbers projected her to win at least 7 categories based on verified user participation. Fans were breaking historical records across every single digital portal associated with the voting process. 40 previous trophies already sat on her shelf, which meant a predictable sweep was all but guaranteed by the tracking metrics. But here is the thing. The men controlling the broadcast viewed this unprecedented dominance as a massive threat to their advertising strategy. They needed casual viewers to stay tuned through the final hour. Selling premium commercial slots requires holding audience attention, and they believed another completely expected victory lap would cause millions of casual viewers to immediately change the channel before the final hour. The order to manufacture a generational shift came straight down from the highest levels of the production company. Destroying her winning streak became their primary objective, regardless of what the actual voters wanted. $30 million. That is exactly what hinged entirely on keeping the 18 to 34 demographic locked to their screens until midnight. Brand safety monitors from major corporate sponsors negotiated strict viewing guarantees into their CBS contracts. They paid top-tier rates specifically because the network promised them direct access to the largest and most fiercely loyal fan base in modern entertainment. Delivering that audience was the only way the broadcast could remain financially solvent. What nobody expected was that the network would attempt to manipulate that exact same demographic through targeted psychological warfare. Executives decided the most profitable narrative involved a shocking defeat that would spark furious online debate, creating a viral controversy that would artificially inflate their faltering engagement numbers. They desired outraged fans, furiously typing on their phones and driving up social media metrics. The decision completely abandoned all legal guidelines for federally regulated public competitions. The specific distribution of the stolen awards reveals exactly how meticulously the producers crafted their fake generational shift. They mandated that the top prizes, including Artist of the Year and Song of the Summer for the track Swim, be reallocated directly to BTS. The instructions explicitly outlined distributing 3 awards each to Bruno Mars, Sabrina Carpenter, Somber, and Cat's Eye. Creating a fabricated narrative of new artists overtaking a legacy star required precise mathematical manipulation that looked natural on paper. They failed to realize that spreading the wealth so evenly across 5 different acts mathematically contradicted the massive influx of single artist voting blocks. Data analysts immediately noticed the perfectly balanced distribution, which served as the first major red flag that the final tallies were entirely fraudulent. Implementing this massive deception required a highly classified shadow protocol to manipulate the final voting tallies. Raw server logs from the primary database reveal exactly when the fraud began. At exactly 2 a.m, just 48 hours before Queen Latifah stepped onto the stage to host the event, system administrators actively deployed a malicious quarantine algorithm designed to suppress engagement. This specific string of code operated explicitly to target the largest incoming blocks of fan votes originating from known stronghold demographics. Whenever the primary nominee crossed a predetermined numerical threshold, the system automatically flagged the excess votes as bot activity. Millions of legitimate inputs were instantly wiped from the official ledger and redirected to a null Internet Protocol address, meaning the data simply vanished into a digital black hole. Internal emails circulating among the data team eliminate any doubt regarding their motives for this destruction. One leaked communication specifically ordered engineers to manually manipulate the application programming interfaces. The firewall logs confirm a top-level administrator account manually triggered this massive traffic redirection. They artificially multiplied the incoming votes for competing acts while creating a hard ceiling that the top nominee could never break, ensuring an impossible mathematical outcome regardless of actual fan participation. Engineers essentially shadow banned the most powerful demographic in the global entertainment industry from participating in a publicly advertised election. As the show finally kicked off in Las Vegas, the broadcast timeline reveals just how deeply this deception saturated the live production. Camera operators receive highly specific, targeted instructions during the pre-show briefing. Their orders required holding extremely tight close-up shots on the top nominee every single time a category was announced. Producers actively hunted for a micro-expression of anger or shock to broadcast across the globe. They desperately wanted to capture a moment of emotional weakness when the 0 for 8 shutout became a reality. 0. That was the statistical probability of this distribution occurring naturally, and the executives knew the target would realize this immediately. Handing the trophies to other artists was simply the bait for a much larger, highly illegal trap designed to capture a viral meltdown broadcast to millions of viewers. Live television immediately exposed the spectacular failure of this malicious broadcast strategy. Remaining perfectly poised and completely unaffected, the targeted artist refused to give the network the dramatic reaction shot they illegally engineered. She smiled gracefully through every single fabricated loss. Down in the control room, producers watched their multi-million-dollar psychological operation crumble in real time. Internal tracking software started flashing warning signals during the third hour as negative sentiment spiked across all major platforms. A carefully planned narrative of a shocking upset met violent rejection from a global audience that knew the math simply did not add up. Viewers recognized the statistical impossibility immediately, which meant the network was instantly losing control of the event while permanently exposing themselves to massive legal liability. The consequences of this botched sabotage hit the corporate structure with devastating speed. Paramount Plus servers experienced catastrophic strain as furious viewers flooded customer service portals with thousands of immediate cancellation requests. The streaming platform lost a massive chunk of its subscriber base within minutes of the final award announcement. Financial models projecting revenue retention for the upcoming quarter shattered instantly. Advertisers who purchased commercial slots under false pretenses began demanding total, unconditional refunds the very next morning. They refused to pay millions of dollars to be associated with a rigged digital election that actively alienated their target consumers. The network fundamentally failed to deliver the audience they contractually promised, and the resulting brand withdrawals completely crippled their operational budget for the rest of the year. Consumer protection laws strictly regulate any televised competition soliciting public participation, and the Federal Trade Commission maintains zero tolerance for fraudulent data manipulation by actively soliciting fan votes and secretly discarding them. Through an algorithmic quarantine, the organizers crossed a highly dangerous legal line that carries severe, company-ending civil penalties from federal regulators. The audit reports for the event were supposed to remain locked behind heavy corporate encryption forever. That changed when whistleblowers deep inside the data center bypassed security protocols and leaked the raw database tables directly to independent forensic investigators. These exposed spreadsheets show the exact digital fingerprints of a suppression algorithm, proving beyond any doubt that the system automatically rerouted high-velocity voting blocks. This quarantine operated as a sophisticated, highly expensive weapon built specifically for one target. The targeted camp did not release a frantic public statement or engage in petty media drama. Operating with silent and lethal precision, they immediately dispatched forensic accountants and digital litigators to dismantle the production company entirely. Aggressive injunctions hit the corporate offices demanding the immediate preservation of all server logs, internal communications, and proprietary algorithms. The discovery phase of this impending legal battle exists to permanently destroy the American Music Awards as an institution. Network executives responsible for the fraud currently experience a total career meltdown, viciously turning on each other in a pathetic bid to secure legal immunity. Former allies frantically leaked documents to the press. They desperately hoped to save their own skins from the incoming massive class action lawsuit. Millions of consumers who interacted with the platforms possess legitimate legal standing to sue for deceptive practices. The third-party vendor responsible for handling the digital tallies already filed for bankruptcy protection to avoid the crushing civil liability. Insurance underwriters who bonded the broadcast actively void their coverage policies, citing the intentional nature of the fraud as a direct violation of their agreements. The network finds itself completely exposed to hundreds of millions of dollars in uninsured legal liabilities. An entire operation stood as nothing more than a house of cards built on extreme arrogance and massive financial greed. And this is where it gets worse for the industry at large. Every major talent agency in Hollywood launched emergency reviews of their artists' contracts with the production company. Executives burned their own house down just to ensure one woman did not get to hold the keys, and their pathetic lies cost them everything. The impending Grammy cycle operates under completely different voting mechanics, but the Recording Academy watched this absolute disaster unfold with pure horror. They understand that public trust represents the only currency keeping televised award shows alive. When the American Music Awards willingly served as a sacrificial lamb on the altar of extreme industry hubris, they permanently damaged the credibility of every other major music institution. The board of directors at Dick Clark Productions called an emergency midnight session to assess the catastrophic damage unfolding across their digital platforms. Meeting minutes leaked by disgruntled employees describe an atmosphere of total panic inside the boardroom. The chief executive officer stood completely unable to explain how a massive fraud operation triggered a federal investigation right under his nose. The vote of no confidence executed by the remaining board members was swift, brutal, and entirely unanimous. The actual artists who received the fraudulent trophies now find themselves caught in a vicious crossfire they never asked to join. Their historic wins carry a permanent stain because the undeniable proof of digital manipulation overshadows their genuine musical achievements. Corporate executives weaponize these talented acts, using them as human shields to hide a massive structural fraud. The resulting industry backlash severely damages the relationships between the production company and every major record label in Los Angeles. Crisis communications firms hired to manage the fallout immediately recognized the situation presented an unwinnable scenario. They advised the network board to initiate a total purge of the executive leadership team just to stop the bleeding. The internal power struggle currently rips the production company apart from the inside out while forensic auditors comb through their financial records. The exact text of the cease and desist letters paints a devastating picture of corporate negligence and premeditated fraud. Legal documents explicitly detail the complete failure to maintain a secure and impartial voting environment required by federal broadcasting standards. The litigators demand full, unredacted access to every single piece of digital communications sent between network executives over the past 6 months. Broadcasters rigging a competition across public airwaves commit a direct violation of the Communications Act, which carries the very real threat of lost broadcasting licenses. The legal strategy deployed against the network leaves absolutely no room for a quiet settlement or a non-disclosure agreement. They intend to drag every single complicit executive into a public courtroom and force them to testify about the shadow protocol. The sheer audacity of the entire operation remains completely breathtaking. When analyzing the exposed data, executives invited the most powerful entity in the entertainment business to their venues simply to lock the doors and steal her crown. They honestly believe the sheer scale of the institution would shield them from any real digital scrutiny. They vastly underestimated the forensic capabilities of modern data analysts tracking the event. Within minutes of the eighth and final loss, mathematical impossibilities became the singular focus of independent Investigators across the globe. Broadcast organizers scrambled to release a panicked, wildly contradictory statement about voting integrity. Their lies completely collapsed when the raw server data flooded the internet. The artist they tried to ruin stands completely untouched and infinitely more powerful than ever before. She never needed their hollow plastic trophies to validate her unprecedented global dominance in the music industry, but they desperately needed her massive audience just to keep the lights on at their dying award show. They viciously bit the only hand that fed them, and now they face total corporate starvation. The receipts prove everything and leave absolutely no room for alternative interpretations or public relations spin. The manipulation operated as an absolute, calculated attack driven entirely by corporate greed. The undeniable truth systematically dismantled their entire empire brick by brick over the span of 48 hours. The arrogant architects of this massive betrayal will never work in live television again.